Hey, everybody, I'm John Granado. That's Josh Jordan. You can hear us on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. You can all see Josh's work at sportsmaphouston.com. Hit subscribe if you haven't yet. Get all our content here at SportsMap HOU. Josh, Astros GM Dana Brown said he isn't optimistic about extending Kyle Tucker or Framber Valdez. Just a couple of weeks ago, he was like, we're going to get this deal done. We're talking to these guys. What's changed recently?
I think Jim Crane might have been like, why don't we slow that down a little bit, Dana, about all these long contracts? You know, it doesn't sound like any deals are taking place either. One of the reasons maybe you want to pay a guy early is you get a little bit of a discount as a team. And it seems like Kyle Tucker's wanting that 10-year, $300 million. So I think that's what's slowing it down. Doesn't feel like there's really any wiggle room.
Well, I don't think it's Jim Crane. I think it's Kyle Tucker's side. I think it's, and Jim Crane, I don't know if he's going to be receptive. Dana Brown comes from a place where we give out long-term contracts. And Kyle Tucker seems to be a guy that I would give a long-term contract to. He seems to be a guy that is going to be solid, has been solid for you. Doesn't seem like he will slow down anytime soon. If there was a long-term deal to give out, he hasn't had injury concerns. Jordan has had injury concerns. You gave him a 5-year deal. But other than that, I don't know that there's anybody. Listen, Kyle Tucker doesn't want a Jordan deal. He just doesn't. Jordan said, I'm going to take that $115 million, and I want to be secure for the rest of my life. I know that. I came from nothing, and now I've really got something. I've got life-changing money for me and generations to come, so I'm good with that. Kyle Tucker isn't.
Well, Kyle Tucker's not really in a position where he's hurting. I mean, he got, a $4 million signing bonus because he was a top draft pick. He just got $5 million here in arbitration. So dude's sitting on almost $10 million. He's not in any hurry. And look at the money he stands to get if he does do this long-term deal. I will say Dana Brown talked to Chandler Rome, and they asked him about these long-term deals, and he said, I wasn't the boss in Atlanta. He was more okay with those 10-year deals. I'd be more willing to go somewhere around 7. That's about as far as I want to go. So I just don't think Tucker's going to do a 7-year deal.
Which would be a record setter for Jim Crane. He ain't doing 7-year deals. Framber's a little bit different. Framber's a little bit tougher because he's an older guy. He came to your organization a little bit older. He's not a strikeout guy. And when Framber had an unbelievable year last year, so he's like, hey, give me the money that these guys at the top of rotations are getting all over the league. I helped you win a World Series here. I've set a record for most consecutive quality starts. I won the All-Star game. What are you guys talking about? This kind of money for me? I should be at the top of the food chain. And when you're not a strikeout pitcher, I mean, he's not looked at like that as a top of the rotation guy. I don't think by anybody in baseball. All of the measures that we've seen this offseason, Framber is not an elite pitcher to most people.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to look at that Rodon contract that the Yankees gave him, and then he's looking at Verlander. He's like, I was better than Verlander in the playoffs, in the World Series. Why am I going to get less per year than Verlander? I'm the younger, better pitcher. So I get why Framber feels that way.
Yeah, well, Verlander was the Cy Young Award winner.
Yep.
So, I mean, I don't know that he thinks he's better than Verlander, but he can certainly say, I'm better than most of these guys, and yet nobody thinks so because he's a ground ball pitcher. It'll be interesting to see without the shift this year if he's going to be nearly as effective as a ground ball pitcher because, guys are going to be able to power it through holes that they weren't able to last year or the year before. So whether or not Framber is going to be that same kind of guy when he doesn't get the big strikeout numbers that the top of the rotation guys get, whether or not he is going to be that same guy, and whether or not he's going to regret not taking I don't know what they're offering him. I think $20 million for 5 years, $100 million for Framber Valdez would be a good contract. Maybe he's thinking I'm worth a lot more than that.
Yeah, and with Kyle Tucker too, with the new rules, with the shift, that could benefit him as well, being a left-handed hitter. And I was just thinking about it. He's doing Team America, doing the the WBC. He's looking around that outfield. Oh, Mookie Betts, Mike Trout. Me. Those are the outfielders, and he's probably seeing himself starting to climb up into that tier of outfielder in Major League Baseball.
Absolutely. And Framber's in a different tier too. It's unusual because we've seen A lot of Latin players. Jose Altuve said, give me that money. I want it. I want to get that guaranteed money now. Jordan said it, and I think he's going to regret that deal. Javier said it. He's taking $64 million over 5 years when he could. If he gets to his top potential, he is really going to regret. He could get $64 million over a couple of years. It's interesting that Framber's saying no. I'm going to bet on myself here. I've got 3 years of arbitration here, which is a long time, and you never know the peaks and valleys that pitching takes. He's betting on himself, so it'll be interesting to see whether or not it comes through for him or he's going to regret it.
What about Bregman? He's not a Latin player, and he took the money a little bit early to get his $100 million. And they talked about extending him too. I heard you talking on your show the other day, John. You don't think he's going to take a hometown deal on this next contract?
No. Not after the Machado deal. No. I think Bregman's going to go out there and get big money. I think Bregman was feeling underappreciated, like Kyle Tucker is now, I would imagine, only Kyle Tucker's taking a different path. Kyle Tucker's like, you gave me $900,000 to help you win a World Series. I was a key part of winning a World Series. Bregman came off the World Series year and said, hey, I ain't making no $700,000. Give me some money, and give me some money now. And you know what? It's working out because he's still going to be a young guy when he gets to that second really, really big contract. I just don't think he's going to get it here. I just don't. Jim Crane ain't giving him that Machado deal. No way, no how. And I don't think Alex Bregman is going to be here, and I don't think Kyle Tucker is going to be here long term after these deals are up.
Man, that's a little scary, but we still have another 2-3 years with a lot of these guys. So, as an Astros fan, everything should be fine for a while, but at some point, are they ever going to pony up and give one of these big deals to somebody? Because the market, every year it gets more expensive, right? Everything goes up. Or is this a mistake by them not doing something now if the price of business is going to just keep escalating?
Well, Bregman's a couple of years away. Kyle Tucker's 3 years away. Yet the sky has to fall somewhere. We can't just talk about how great the Astros are year in and year out. We have to have something to worry about. We can't have a team where we don't worry about something. That's impossible, Josh. So we have to worry about 3 years from now where Kyle Tucker is going to be playing.